Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for spending a little bit of your morning with me today. I am Julie with Creations by Julie. I do a live every Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock and try to show you and encourage you and inspire you to try to make some decorations of your own. Today we're actually I'm going to show you how to do a cute little snowman. A little bit like this. You change it up. I've told you time and time again that crafting is a personal choice, opinions. You need to use your own imagination. I just show you basically what I do, and then you take it and change it up, because with these snowmen, there's so many different ways that you can do them, and it does not take much time at all. Let me tell you and show you a little bit about what we're going to use today. You're going to need 2x4. Lowe's and probably Home Depot both would cut them the length that you want, I'm sure. You can choose whatever you want to do. If you want to just one snowman, if you want to do a group of 2, if you want to do a group of 3 and make them all different sizes. I've chosen this year to do in groups of 2. And what I do, and I've already painted this one so that you don't have to literally sit here and watch paint dry. We're going to work on this one. This one is 13 inches. You could do 12. This one is 10. So that gives you a little bit of idea of, how big they'll be. And these 2x4s are really nice for any type of fireplace decoration, shelf sitters, because they won't wobble. They're very sturdy and they're really nice. Okay, and we'll talk about some of the other things you need as we go along. Also, I would really appreciate it if you do this. Remember, I told you I couldn't say that word if we're giving away something, and today I'm actually giving away a stencil and some paint for anyone that does this. If you're watching this on replay, you still can do it. When you put it on your page, Facebook tells me that you did this. A lot of people use the word sprinkle, but what I want you to do is when you put this show your friends and family on your Facebook page, if you'll just come back here and put the word snowman, that will tell me that you did. But we'll talk about that again some more later. The first thing you're going to want to do is paint your wood white. You can use a bright white.
Maria said good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. So this is actually, I think, fusion paint, but you can use any kind of paint you want. You can use acrylic, you can use chalk paint, whatever. So I'm just first thing I'm going to do, now this board has already been sanded once, so I'm just going to paint it white. Then I'm going to go back and distress it a little bit. You don't have to if you want your snowman to be really white.
Judy Smith said she's taking her lunch break to watch you live.
Oh,
So
well,
replay.
I hope you're having something good. And thank you you can always go back and look at replays too. So we're just gonna paint both sides. The sides of it, you just want to cover it with this white. I think this is kind of a country white from Fusion. I think it's called Casement, but you can use whatever you've got. Just get you some white paint. So we're just going to cover it in white paint. And I'm a messy painter. I usually splatter it. This doesn't have to be perfect, especially if you like the kind of rustic look, because you're going to go back once it dries. I go back and distress it a little bit with a piece of sandpaper. Most of the time I use 100 grit. You can get it as far down to the wood as you want. And on this one, I'm not going to paint the very bottom so that I can set it aside and let it start drying. Depending on how much time this takes, I may do the smaller snowman. You can do them the same, you can make them different. Okay, one thing I did forget. Oh well, I'm not going to use this again, I don't think. If you'll put it in a little water or just take a paper towel and wrap it around it kind of wet. It makes it easier to clean the brush is the only thing. Okay, so I usually try to keep a wet towel close by. But you want to just take both of your boards and paint them, let them dry really well. It doesn't take very long for this paint to dry. But like I said, I went ahead and painted this other one and distressed it the first part of the week. So, put that aside. Okay. Don't think I need this paper now. Okay, so once you've done that, this is the one that's 13 inches. You see how I've just kind of distressed it? It just keeps your snowman from looking quite so bright white. But if you wanted to do that, you could. They also make a spray snow that...
Judy said that saw you were going to do that and it'd make a great project during Christmas break for the kids.
Yeah, this is pretty easy. Now, what I like to do, you pick any type of hat you want. With this, I just use material, and if you're going to use material, all you do is take it and measure it around the top of your snowman. You can use gloves, which is what I'm going to use today. But if you were to use material, which I originally thought about using this because it's got snowmen on it, but then I just wasn't sure. But you just take your material and make sure your pattern, of course, is going the way it wants to. Figure out how big you want his hat to be and wrap it around. I did, with these, I wrapped it around and then used a stapler on the back side for the first layer. Like if I took this and wrapped it around, I would wrap it all the way, of course. And this side, I would just staple it right here. And then I bring this side over and glue. Then you can put ribbon. This has got a little bit of ribbon. You could use fuzzy socks. Those would work. Today, I was going to use that material, and then I said, no, I think I'm going to make one with the black gloves. So what you want to do is figure out what side you want up, what side you want down. Okay, I think I like this one. Of course, if you use the gloves, they're really simple. You just take and put the gloves on it. Now I'm going to figure out where I want it because that determines where I put the eyes and the face. Of course, with the gloves, you've already kind of got a little bit of a thing here for like his cap. Fuzzy socks would work great. Okay, so that's about where I want his hat to be. So then what I'm going to do, and this is something different. I haven't showed y'all this type of stenciling before, but it's very, very easy. I cannot draw a straight line. A lot of people could just sit here and draw a face on here, but I found these stencils. Can you see that? It's actually a snowman face. And someone is going to get the snowman face and samples of this paint. But this is a regular plastic reusable stencil. So what I do is just figure out about where I want his face. Let's see, and then you'll put a scarf here and buttons. So that's good, right about there. So I'm going to take the hat off for the time being. If you wanted to, you could get a little bit of painter's tape and tape it. This is so tiny. Actually, I want his nose going the other direction, so it's going to go this way. This is so tiny, I think I can hold it. I'm not going to tape it, but you could. And this is almost the perfect size for this particular board. So what I'm going to use is a thick body acrylic paint. The reason I like the thick body with this type of stencil is it's thicker than your regular, it's even thicker than the chalk paste, I think, but it's thicker than your regular acrylic paint that you get at Walmart and stuff. But I got this at Hobby Lobby when they have them half price about every other week. And, you know, it'll last you forever. This is a brush that you can buy. See, it's got a flat bottom, and that's what you want to use when you're using these plastic stencils. It's called a bouncer or a pouncer, or like for a little project like this, you can just use a makeup sponge. So the winner is going to get the stencil, 2 makeup sponges, and paint. So the key to stenciling is to not have much paint on your brush or your thing at all. and they call it offloading it. You think you are wasting the paint. That's probably too much paint. You think you're wasting the paint, but it's when you have so much paint on your brush is what makes it smear and go underneath your stencil. So I'm going to take one of the makeup sponges and I'm going to dip it in my paint. Can y'all see that? To where it's covered. And then you're just going to pounce it up and down and offload it where you don't have much paint at all. So then I'm going to hold my stencil, get him in the middle there, and then you're just going to pounce. And you can always go back and do a second coat to make it darker. The key is not to have much paint on there at all. Of course, it doesn't matter if you get it on your fingers when you're having to hold the thing like this. You probably will. So I'm just going to go back in there where I did the offload. And if you can see, I just moved the stencil. I probably should have taped it. Now I use a stencil brush when I do larger stencils. I think Ed's going to get me some painter's tape. I did these last week and didn't move them at all. I think that's probably close enough. And you know what? If you mess it up, that's enough. If you mess it up, then you just sand your board and do it again. I mean, this is a snowman face, so it doesn't matter as much. If you're doing words, you want to be very careful. Okay. I don't think I'm even going to have to dip back into the black. But see, when you do it on your plate, you don't have much paint at all. And you just up and down. As dark as you want it. A little thing like this, these little makeup sponges work fine. And like I said, these little stencils, plastic stencils, are reusable. You just wash them and use them again. Okay, now I'm going to get the black off my fingers first. Like I said, I admire those people that can just take a marker or paint and paint the eyes and whatever. But not me. I can't do that. So I'm going to do, this is orange. And see, the paint does come in smaller tubes. I could cut the end off of this one and use it, but I just got another one. Makeup sponges are very cheap.
Judy Smith wants to know if you sell that stencil.
No, I purchased the stencil from a place called Essential Stencils. You can go on and it came in a set of 3 Christmas ones. I have quite a few of their stencils. I don't think I'm allowed to turn around and sell them. I'm not sure. But no, this one, I'm going to give this one away. But go to essentialstencils.com and you can see all their different stencils. And they're all plastic and reusable. And when I saw this little snowman face, I thought, I've got to get that. Because, I mean, you can do, I did this one last week, I'm going to add it to a set of just little shelf setters and that say let it snow. So I mean there's a lot you can do with it. All right, I'm gonna just kind of hinge this and see if it's dark enough to suit me. Yeah. And then all you're going to do with your stencil is take a wet rag and it just cleans right up. To use it again. And you could have turned it over and had his nose going that way. I just like it going the other way. So their stencils are very easy to work with. But if you sprinkle this live, be sure to come back and type the word snowman. Facebook will tell me that you SHARED it. It's crazy that you can't say the word, but you're not supposed to if you're giving away something. All right, so there we've got his face, and this paint dries really fast. Just in case, I'm going to hit it just a little bit with the hair dryer and blow everything away. I just don't want to smear it when I put his hat on. And like I said, if I didn't like that, I would just give the board to Ed and say, go sand this off for me and repaint it and redo it. So I'm gonna put his hat on where I want it. Other than painting these and letting that paint dry, I mean, they're so fast and easy to make. Okay, and I'm gonna gather this up here for his little top, and actually I'm going to put a little, you can put whatever kind of embellishment you wanted, but I found these little, actually they're big, red bells at Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna see if I can't tie a little bell around the top. I've tried to do them all a little bit different. Of course, I didn't try to do this beforehand, so probably needed some Scotch tape, but I could have used ribbon. You just gotta get it through there. Sometimes it's the other things that take so long. Tape or tweezers? Would have been good. Okay, I got part of it, but not all of it, but enough probably to tie it on. No, Ed, would you go get me Scotch tape off the top of the computer? See, it never fails. You think you have everything, and then as you're doing it, you don't. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of tape on the end of this so that I can get it through that little hole. Like I said, you can use fuzzy socks, you can use cute material, you can embellish his hat any way you want to. I'm thinking the little bell, and I would do both of mine the same, because I've already got 2 of them on the website and they're both the same. This is actually, it doesn't want to curve up is what it is. It wants to go down into the bell. So I'm just going to kind of tie this on here, and then I'm going to put a little piece of fabric to make a bow over the top. You're not going to see this string. And I'm going to use a little strip of fabric for his scarf too. What I chose to use for the scarf on this one is this red and white polka dot. So I'm just going to kind of figure out where I want his scarf to go. Not a whole lot of gluing or anything to these. Like I said, you could do them any size you want to. Put it over here. to kind of see what happens if you tear. I don't want to tear that way, but I'm just going to put some slits in it. And I may cut it off a little bit. And we'll probably glue that just a little bit right there. Where it lays down. All right, then I'm going to take some buttons, and I bought these buttons at Hobby Lobby. It's just, I liked the size of them. I like the particular button, and they have their buttons half price about every other week. And this is the big one, so I'm actually going to put 3 buttons on him. You could use something besides buttons. You could use snowflakes. Like I said, you could just really change it up and make it your own. Super, super quick and easy. Y'all have any questions? I said the thing that takes the longest is probably just preparing your wood. And I'm going to take a little piece of this and tie it up here. Kind of make a bow. Just kind of give it a little shabby look. My other one, I used a little snowflake. All right, pretty much, you know, other than trimming a little here and there, this one's done. And you wouldn't have to spray it with anything. You could if you just afraid it might get wet or something. You know, but you could flop it, you could do whatever, but that's what the finished one looks like. When you have this little stencil, it's just so quick and fast. You just put it on there. And now we'll check and see if the other one is dry, but I'm not gonna make you sit through it. It is. So what you would do is just take a piece of, I use 100 grit sandpaper, and just take off as much of this as you want to. You could even spray it with a little snow if you wanted to, or leave it good and white. Your main thing is, once you decide what hat you're going to use, and I'm going to use the same hat on this one. So I'm going to make a big one and a little one. And like I said, there again, just take your stencil after you figure your hat, place it where you want it on the board. And that's all you have to do. See, that board's not quite dry, but these are just super, super quick and easy.
Judy Smith says so darn cute and easy to use.
They are so simple, and they are cute. And like I said, you could even make, I mean, you could put a hat on this one. This is maybe a 5x4. Yeah, it looks like it's 4.5 by 3.5. It's just a little block. And you make something like this and put it in your 3-tiered trays, or anywhere in your kitchen counter, windowsill, fireplace. You can make a whole set of them and put different hats on them, and stuff like that. But that's it. Quick and simple, easy, and use your imagination. Is, like I said, I may make some with the fuzzy socks too. I just haven't had any luck finding Christmas socks.
Judy Smith said, I love your shirt. Did you do that too?
No, ma'am. I bought this, I believe, in Canton, Texas. But I have made some t-shirts recently, but I think the ones I've made all say Waymaker, Promise Keeper, Light of the World, or something like that. So, if you will like and follow my page, and if you will do this right here, come back here to this video and put the word snowman in the comments, then I will go and check, and Facebook should tell me everybody that put it on their page. I'm going to randomly pick a name, and I'm going to wait probably till Friday at noon, and then I'll post it here on my page. You will get the stencil, sample of the black and the orange paint that I used, and 2 makeup sponges. So all you have to have is a little bit of wood and your embellishments. I could embellish this further if I wanted to, and add greenery or whatever you want to. You just be creative and let your kids do it. If you tape this stencil down, kids can do it. They just need to be careful and just pounce up and down. Don't move to where you'd go under the eyes. But you could use buttons for the eyes. There's all kinds of things you could do. And like I said, there's talented people out there that could just sit down and draw a snowman face. How difficult is that? But I can't draw a straight line. So I like the fact that it's consistent over and over. I have several other stencils from Essential. It's ESSENTIAL, essentialstencils.com. They have big ones. I actually have done a couple of porch signs using their stencils, and I love them. It's just you have to practice to keep it from bleeding. It's not quite as easy as the mesh stencils from Magnolia Design that you can just wipe it on there and pull it off. So, all right, that's it for today. And unless the Lord changes my mind, I think what I'm going to do next Wednesday is show you how to do a wreath that looks like a peppermint candy. So that's what we'll do next Wednesday. Y'all have a great day, and thank you again for spending just a little bit of time with me. Don't forget to like, follow, and SHARE. Thanks. Bye.